Kinetic system online. Scanner damaged. Repair required. Aerial propulsion jetpack online. Multi-tool and mining laser attachment operational. User initialization sequence complete. Toxic protection falling.
Alright, let's get started. So this is No Man's Sky 1.0. This is the version that they launched on PC in mid-August 2016. And I'm playing it because I think it's neat. I really got back into No Man's Sky over the holidays, and obviously I was playing the latest patch, and I got quite far, and I was like, this isn't quite the game I remember it to be, what it used to be. Turns out if you own No Man's Sky on Steam, you can download 1.0. And so that's why we're playing it. We're playing it because it's neat and we can. I also think that it's a good sort of compare and contrast between like 1.0 and the latest patch is sort of the 4 years of evolution that the game has gone through, sort of illustrative of how much work they've put into the game. So what's interesting right off the bat is you start with your ship, and the tutorial goes from here. Whereas in the latest patch, you start middle of nowhere, and you have to repair your visor to find your ship. Same sort of setup though. Sort of in media res, amnesia type deal. Find your ship, talk to the distress beacon, kick off the quote unquote plot. I actually sort of like this ship's design. They changed it. I can't remember what update they changed it, but they changed it. I don't know, the red and the angles and the stubby, I think it's just really cute. Multi-tool obviously hasn't changed. So another very, very noticeable difference right off the bat is the elements are totally different. You collect iron, not ferrite dust, you collect iron to make ferrite sheets. They're functionally, iron and ferrite sheets are functionally identical to ferrite dust and iron sheets. They had the same use and they're crafted in the same way. Got a nice little checklist of things we should do. This is neat, because otherwise this game does very little hand-holding. Other than you need iron, and you can craft, and you're on this planet where you'll probably find iron. And you need to do that before you get to the exciting stuff, which is where you get off and explore outer space. They also made some weird changes, like these don't need to be repaired. This damaged machinery doesn't need to be repaired. I don't need to remove, debris or gunk out of it. I can just use it and get the thing. It doesn't give nanite clusters. It gives gun upgrades or multi-tool upgrades. And the multi-tool upgrades are different. They reworked them in a later patch. So basically every part... No Man's Sky is the ship of Theseus of video games. That's 1.0 is very conceptually similar to 3.13 or the latest patch, but pretty much every system in the game has probably been reworked. So ship flying, ships handle differently, multi-tool upgrades work differently. The environments generate differently. The environments here actually have a lot less detail than they do. Everything's been improved and tweaked and changed. The elements have changed. So this is actually for my ship, and it explicitly says, unlike the game, which has classes, the latest patch has classes of upgrades. This explicitly says that it reduces cooldown times for my photon cannon.
Life support power low.
So I have played a bit of this off camera. I haven't found the Atlas Pass yet. So I'm not sure what these have, but if they're anything close to the latest patch, it's probably a story-gated progression, story-gated item. Not 100% mandatory, but in the latest patch, these give you fuel for your hyperdrive, typically. So they're pretty useful. Because in this game, in this patch, fueling your hyperdrive is there's just a lot that goes into it. There's like 4 or 5 different elements that I have written down. I don't know if this flag is randomized. I think this flag is randomized. The other thing that I spent a lot of time trying to track down is this game looks lower res than it should be, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is a artifact of being a PlayStation port," and typically PlayStation 4 games are into like 720p or 900p, so they're probably doing some upscaling. But that's further confounded by the fact that the menus are in 1080p. I'm running the game in 1080p for purposes of streaming. So the menus are in 1080p, but the game doesn't look like it's running 1080p. And the most convincing argument that I've seen is it's an artifact of how the lighting works. Basically, it's been designed to look like this rather than it looking like this as an artifact of something else. Because if you look at this flag, the corners of this flag are very crisp. There's obviously the proper anti-aliasing being applied to this flag. But if I look at this light, there's very hard edges and the contrast between the lights and the background. And none of this probably comes across in video, honestly. But any sort of highlight or edge that's not basically the edge of a model looks lower resolution than it should be.
Toxic protection falling.
And that's just an artifact of how they coded their shaders. And I think a later patch fixed that. They released like 10 patches in the first month of this game's existence. And I'm not playing 1.03, which was their launch day patch, which changes a whole lot because that was the 3 months that they spent working on the game between going gold and actually the game hitting the streets. Reality seems to fold in on itself. One moment I can see debris, in another a vast red orb, almost too large and too bright to behold. It knows me inside and out more than I could ever myself. Could this be the face of creation itself? Or, in my hazy, freshly awakened state, am I being manipulated? A name burns itself into my mind. Atlas. And a request, made without words, that I should follow the path this this atlas has set for me. You're going to accept the atlas's guidance, not knowing what the atlas is, what this red orb is, why I'm here, who I am. I feel sufficed with the warm glow of approval. I was lost, but now I'm fine. The atlas acknowledges my allegiance, and I feel certain that it will manifest itself again soon. So, just gonna recover a bit from the toxicity, and then I'll start mining some iron. It's sort of unfortunate that they started me on this plateau. Sort of doesn't leave me good choices for finding anything real quick. Sure, let's go in this cave. Caves are also one of those things that was drastically reworked. Not only does patch to give you cobalt, another interesting difference is that I can always send items to my ship, which is very useful because inventory space is very constrained. You start with a lot less in your inventory, and you start with 9 open slots in your inventory. It's not a lot, and each slot can only hold 250 elements, and anything that's not an element basically doesn't stack. So the shielding shard, while it will be useful, it will charge my hazard protection and will repair my ship. It just takes up too much space to be worth it. Whereas I could have a stack of 250 titanium. It would serve it would utilize the space a lot better. Also, one of the reasons you want to store stuff in your ship, or you have the incentive to store stuff in your ship, is that I can only carry 250 of an element on me in a stack, whereas in my ship I can hold up to 500. So when you're exploring, if you're not expecting to really sell anything, you can just sort of, just sort of push it on your ship and forget about it until you hit space. I need 18, I need about 68 more iron. That should be enough. Oh, I angered this sentinel by destroying that thing. As long as I don't mind when he's watching, I'm fine. I need plutonium now. This will probably want me to build the scanner. It's hard to say know where all these elements are. I've played this a bit this week. But yeah, so these cave flowers give you carbon instead of marrow bubbles. Basically all the plants give you carbon and all the rocks give you iron. You can find other elements are either in sort of mineable deposits or in crystals. Multicolored crystals, so they're more distinct. There's a weird consistency. Rocks are iron, plants are carbon, crystals are special.
Technology prepared.
So I'm looking for a pillar of blue stuff, which might be this. So let's see if I can actually find this cave to... Oh boy. Nice floating rocks. Here we go. This will repair my
Toxic protection.
hazard suit. Iron's one of those elements that doesn't have as much use. Honestly, sort of feels like a waste of space, but every once in a while you come across something that needs it and you go, oh shoot, I wish I had actually kept some.
Technology prepared.
Plutonium, on the other hand, very useful. And planets are littered with it. So these red crystals are always plutonium. You need plutonium for your launch thrusters, and all your excess you can use to recharge all your equipment very efficiently, so you want...
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Plutonium is also an element in hyperdrive fuel, so you should probably keep it.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Scanner works similarly, but the details are different. Oh, there's a Sentinel on here. Bugger off. I want that plutonium. I want you to go away. Although... need more iron. Ah, so here are gold crystals.
Technology installed.
Where'd he go? Okay, well, if he comes back, then he can feel my wrath. You want some?
Hostiles approaching. Warning. Sentinel drones activated.
Good luck getting me.
Warning. Sentinel combat unit deployed.
Okay. That's how it's gonna go, huh?
Units received. Toxic protection. Stabilizing. Resource insert inventory.
Like, where are they? There we go. Good grief. Fighting Sentinels is one of the easiest ways to make money, but you need to be near a place to sell your stuff.
Stabilizing. Toxic protection. Stabilizing. Toxic protection. Stabilizing. Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Neat. I need Iridium. They also, the Sentinels also give you combat multi-tool upgrades. And, zinc. Sorry, titanium. And things to sell. You okay, buddy? You alright? You just vibing? You need any help? Okay, well, I'll let you get to it. The dogs are harder to beat. It's patch, so I'd rather not. This place is lousy with plutonium, which is Not a lot of thamium, but I can find that easily enough in space. I think this is iridium. It is not, it is nickel. The game is telling me, oh yeah, right. I'm not walking 8 minutes that way. It doesn't always point you in towards the best source of iridium, so we can probably find our own.
Stabilizing.
Probably the slowest start I've had so far. I see some in the distance there.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Iridium is another component of hyperdrive fuel. Oh, I'm in this cave now.
No free slots in suit inventory. Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Technology repaired. Objective complete.
Hell yeah. I'll take this. First one's free, baby.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing. Objective complete.
Could also save now. Good. I didn't do it. You didn't see me, you can't prove it. You have no evidence. I wish this sort of stuff had made it onto the OST. It's very subdued, laid back. There's actually a lot of things missing from the soundtrack. Missing in heavy air quotes.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Oh, there it is. Really just sort of put me in the middle of nowhere, huh? I think we're going the long way, just to be safe. Like, the ground texture isn't bad. I think people were saying the softropy setting doesn't seem to be doing anything. So it's sort of blurry. And there's obviously some level of detail stuff going on. And there's no parallax, it's all normal mapped. It's all one uniform texture for the most part. There's a lot more variation in patch.
support power low.
Neat. No, it's not. It's a depot.